I'm starting from this intense pattern design. Please check out my earlier video. The link is in the description. So once you've got that, you've got these two patterns. And I'm going to merge them. I'm just going to go to Layer and I can go to Merge Selected. Now they become one complete pattern. We can resize, modify, etc. and continue to work with it. But also what you can do is you can rasterize this design. You can rasterize it completely. Just go to Layer and Rasterize, because I just want to use it now with a deform filter. Before I do that, I'm just going to go to Filters, Colors and Auto Levels so you can see it a bit more clearly. And I'm going to resize it because I don't want it to be right crunched up at the edge. I want the design to be about like there. So you've got that design there. Now I'm just going to go to Filters, Distort and Deform. And the key thing is to avoid going over the edge. That's why I tried to make it fairly small. You can make it even smaller if you wish. But just don't go over the edge. It's not a big deal, but you'll end up with a sort of slice in the image. Now I'm going to go for similarity. You could vary that, up to you what you want to use. And I'm going to add some pins around the edge. I'm just going to add it just around the edge like this, just outside of the actual layer. You can see I do that. Just do that all the way around. And now what I can do, I can drag inwards. And you can see as I do that, I distort the layer. And I'm going to do the same there. And you can distort the layer in all kinds of ways. You can keep it there, maybe just distort the other one, alternate ones. Now, sometimes you click on it and it doesn't select it well, like that did. But the key thing is, like I say, don't go over the edge. If you go over the edge, you'll end up with this slice, which you might not like. And you can distort this design in all kinds of ways. Now, one thing about this, if you've got the outside, you can actually make these like hollows. If you go inside, you can actually make a sort of hollow design like that as you drag there, which I think is quite nice. And again, you can make nice distortions like that and so on. You can continue. And now, of course, what you can also do is you can add internally as well and then distort there as well. So if you want to do a few minor distortions there, just drag that around. And you can create all kinds of unique designs. I suspect you'll never get it exactly the same as this. I doubt if I'd ever get it exactly the same again if I tried. But you can see now I've got this design. It's nicely distorted. You can see all stretched over there. Click Apply. Now what you can do then is you can duplicate this design. I'm just going to reduce it in size a little bit again. Now you could also, of course, go Repeat Deform. I quite like that. Sometimes you end up generating, I'm not going to do that one, but sometimes it generates a really interesting design. But that didn't do. So now with this, what I can do, I can hold down the Alt or Option key and I can duplicate the design. And you can see then I've got that design, and so on. And you can just repeat this, go over the whole thing. And you can see what you get. You just generate this very weird, surreal landscape, basically from just a very basic line design. It was originally a line design. It's just made up of multiple layers, and you can see now I can just fill this entire area. Now I don't want any of the white, so I'm just trying to avoid. Of course, I'll probably miss some. Okay, so I've got that whole design, no white. So now you've got a very extremely weird, sort of stretched out, distorted, very surreal with holes going off in different directions, sort of like a Steve Ditko, like weird Doctor Strange like landscape. However, once you've done all that, what you can do, of course, you can select all those. They're all pixel layers. And you can simply go over here to Layer and down to Merge Selected. So Merge Selected. Now, at least it doesn't crash, because I've had in the past when I've done merge selected on lots of layers, sometimes it does have a bit of an issue. So now you've got one single pixel layer. And again, you can do exactly the same. You can always go to Filters and Repeat Deform. Apply it, and you can see then you can distort that even more. And you can repeat that. So if you want to, simply Filters, Repeat Deform again. Let's maybe not. I always like to try and Repeat Deform a couple of times just to see what you get. But sometimes it can turn out, and you can resize this design. So just resize that layer, and you see what you get then. You get even weirder landscape background design. And again, once you've done all that, again, you can just select them all and then go to Layer and down to Merge Selected. And then you've got that design there. And that's how I'm going to go, as far as I'm going. Of course, you go more and more deformed, more and more sort of combined layers. The result gets smaller and smaller. but you can create the weirdest of landscapes. And of course, once you've done that, if you think, you know what, I don't like the colour, I think I prefer it to be sort of coloured, well, you can always go to layer, new adjustment layer, maybe go down to recolour, perfectly reasonable, and you can then make it, instead of that, you can make it green, blue, whatever, and maybe change the saturation, change the lightness, and so on. And you've got your design there. Hope you found this of interest. Thank you much.